Hey folks, my name is Jen, and today we're gonna do a book tag. So I realized it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and I also realized that I've really been slamming you guys with a lot of long videos lately. So yeah, we're just gonna do this book tag today, and yeah, not have you guys sitting through another like 45 minutes of whatever. So the book tag that I'm doing, it looks like it was originally created by the Book Gypsy, but I actually found it on Modern Witch's Bookshelf, which is a WordPress. It was originally a like Halloween in July tag, but she renamed it the Hyped for Halloween book tag. So let's just get started with the questions. So question number one is, what book gave you the creeps? So I have several books that I could probably name for this answer, because there are a lot of books that have given me the creeps. But I think the one that really comes to the forefront of my mind is The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. This is the shocking true story of serial killer Ted Bundy. Yeah, so basically it's just all about Ted Bundy. Anne Rule actually knew him and was friends with him, so there's like a personal side to it. I wouldn't call it the best like true crime novel I've ever read, but it's certainly unique, and the details of the crimes and things did really give me the creeps, to the point where I was actually double checking the locks on our windows and doors while I was reading this, even though I am quite aware that Ted Bundy was caught and is dead. But I still checked anyway. Question 2 is, what book gives you the best Halloween vibes? So for this one, I also have a couple of answers, but the one I'm going to stick with, I think, is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I know this takes place like over the course of several years and also various seasons, but it's very spooky and unsettling, but is also very bittersweet and beautiful at the same time. And I mean, Halloween is very much about like getting scared and like searching for that scare, having a spooky time, but it also has to do with like kind of acknowledging death, and that's something that's a big part of this book. So I don't know, it does give me like some super big Halloween vibes. So question 3 is, what's your favorite vampire book? So I'm thinking about this one, and the answer might be a little surprising. But I think that my favorite vampire book is actually like a series. I haven't completed the series. I think I've only read like the first 2, maybe 3 volumes. One of my best friends had them, and I remember reading them, like borrowing them from her in either high school or college, something like that. It is the Undead series by Mary Janice Davison. The first book is called Undead and Unwed. I think there's also like Undead and Unemployed, and it kind of along the lines of that theme. It follows a woman named Betsy Taylor. Yes, she's very aware that her name is Elizabeth Taylor. And she gets run over by a car and ends up coming back as a vampire. And there's like evil vampires. There's this other one that's kind of the love interest, and it's absurd, really. The entire series is absurd, and apparently I was just looking it up because I was trying to remember what the name of the series was called, and Apparently, Mary Janice Davidson wrote the series as a response to getting really tired of all the vampire tropes that were out there and wanting to kind of turn them on their heads. And yeah, like I said, I haven't never finished reading the series, but I remember I read at least 2 or 3 of them and enjoyed them immensely. And while vampire fiction was something that I was super into in like high school and college, it's not really something I reach for anymore, but I definitely would want to reread and complete that series at some point because I remember having the best time reading it. Like just cackling and just really loving the entire thing. So yeah, if you're up for vampire romance that doesn't take itself too seriously, I do recommend that. Question 4 is, what book scared you so much you had to sleep with the light on? So, there can be no other answer for this. Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary is the only book that I've ever read that legitimately gave me nightmares. It horrified the fuck out of me. I have never seen the movie, either one. Never seen them. Never plan on seeing them. Because, yeah, nightmares, slept with the light on, terrified of fucking everything. Can't handle it. No. Question 5 is, what's your favorite book about witches, goblins, ghosts, or demons? I've spent a little bit of time thinking about this. I honestly can't recall ever reading a book about goblins. I can recall movies in which goblins feature, like Labyrinth or something, but I can't remember ever reading anything about goblins, so nothing comes to mind. I don't really think I've read a lot of books about demons either, so I've got nothing for that either. I will say my favorite book about witches is probably The Wee Free Men, although Hatful of Sky and Wintersmith are also wonderful. I just love the Tiffany Aching series, and I love Terry Pratchett's, like, witches. Absolutely. As for ghosts, I think that would be a tie between the Graveyard Book or The Shining. Just love their ghosts. Love the stories entirely. Question 6 is, what book do you wish was scarier than it was? So this might also be like an odd answer perhaps, but I would say not just this book, Dream of Orchids, but I would say that all of the Phyllis A. Whitney books that I have read before, I would like them to be just a little bit scarier. They're supposed to be some kind of mystery thrillers that are also like romantic, like romance thrillers or something like that, and this one is a little bit unsettling, but I would really like it if this and the others were like way more creepy than they actually are, like really up the thriller aspect of it instead of just being like drippy main characters finding romance, sometimes not always great romance, with some kind of thriller element. I would appreciate if the thriller was like a bigger part of her books in general. I was really coming here for the thriller aspect and was left mostly disappointed through these when I was reading her collection of books a couple of years ago. Alright, last question is, what's your favorite book that takes place in October? So, love this, just reread it, Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. Absolutely love this graphic novel, super October vibes, love it, love it, love it. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and hope that you guys are having a great October. Bye!